Riah Phiyega's fitness to hold office will continue with closing arguments today. Yesterday, the inquiry heard that the commissioner succumbed to political pressure during the violent labour unrest at Marikana's Lonmin platinum mine in 2012. Lawyers for injured and deceased miners in the 2012 Marikana incident, in which 34 miners died and at least 78 injured, reiterated that Phiyega is not fit to hold office. They told the inquiry that she failed to draw their line at the 2012 Marikana incident. The Farlam Commission findings levelled 14 allegations of misconduct against Phiyega. Lawyers representing miners meanwhile submitted an affidavit from AMCU President Joseph Matunjwa. Advocate Dali Mpofo accused Phiyega of concealing crucial evidence during her testimony at the Farlam Commission.
Now, for more on the story, we're now joined by our reporter Patricia Visagie, who is in Centurion at the Board of Inquiry, the Claassen Board of Inquiry. Patricia, very good morning to you and welcome.
Good morning, Elvis.
Have the closing arguments commenced already?
Well, Elvis, the arguments have not started yet. You would know that the time is scheduled for 10 o'clock every morning, but of course there's still other nitty-gritties that they still have to deal with behind the scenes to see how the day will be panning out. And of course, it is the second day of the closing arguments, and we expect it to be another day of immense scrutiny into the credibility, into the integrity, and the overall fitness of the suspended police commissioner, General Riah Phiyega. Yesterday, of course, we saw her coming under immense fire from both the evidence leaders and, of course, the lawyers representing the miners who were injured and, of course, arrested during the Marikana labour unrest in 2012, when we saw, of course, 34 miners being gunned down by the police. So today we expect the evidence leaders to wrap up their closing arguments, and we don't expect them to actually back off from the arguments that we heard yesterday, them putting forward to this Claassen Board of Inquiry, basically highlighting that General Riah Phiyega knew what she was doing, and the decision to implement the so-called tactical response on the 16th of August 2012 was actually taken on the 15th, and that they had planned to actually gun down the miners.
What can we expect today further? Do you think that it will be the final day of the closing arguments?
Well, that's too early to determine. Of course, we expect after the evidence leaders for lawyers of the miners who were killed during the Marikana protest, for them to also make representations. And we also expect the lawyers for the injured and arrested miners to also, give their final inputs. And thereafter, we'll also hear arguments into the relevance of the affidavit that was submitted yesterday on behalf of AMCU President, and that is Joseph Matunjwa. So it's expected to be another long day. Whether all of that will be wrapped up today, that remains to be seen. But of course, we expect it to be a very intense day, and we also expect, of course, the closing arguments from General Riah Phiyega's defense team. So there you can hear already we have a whole list of activity that is set to take place here.
Patricia, thank you so much for that report, and you'll keep us updated. That was our reporter Patricia Visagie in Centurion at the Claassen.